Hello again, my name's John. I'm a retired chef from the northeast of England in the UK, and welcome to my latest video. And in this one I'll be making this delicious winter warmer. It's chicken casserole with crispy dumplings. You can view the ingredients list and full written method for this recipe on the recipe page on the channel's website. I'll leave a link in the description under the video, or you can click on the eye icon top right of the screen to take you directly to the recipe page. Before I go any further, I'd like to give a quick shout out to this week's Patreon and PayPal donators, and they are Genevieve Quevelin, David Staunton, Peter Almond, George Wooten, Apostle David Jr., Ray Kelly, Jonathan Kirchgessner, Jacopo Morganti, Nerys Mahone, Kim Mullins, Nicola Krastev, Sylvia Leon, Daniel Morrison, Sheena King, Nick Hale and Simon Trigg. Thanks again guys, I really do appreciate all your support. And with that out of the way, let's get on with today's recipe. The first job is to make up the dumpling mix, and I'll start by finely chopping the spring onions. Next I'll sift in the flour and baking powder. I'm using self-raising flour for mine, but if you want you can use plain or all-purpose flour, but you'll need to add an extra 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Time to add the butter. Gently rub it in until it resembles fine breadcrumbs as shown. In real time this only took about 3 minutes. By the way, this is my homemade butter. If you want to know how it's made, I'll leave a link in the description box to my video. It's really easy to make. Next ingredients are the finely chopped spring onions, followed by the beef suet. You can also use vegetable suet. These are easily accessible in the UK, but if you can't get hold of it where you live, simply add an extra 100 grams of butter in the previous rubbing in stage. It's not ideal, but it'll work. Now lightly toss all that together using your fingers. And the final ingredients are the large egg and milk. You don't need any salt in this, as the baking powder has quite a salty taste. You can always add salt to the dish on the plate, but if there's too much in, you can't take it out. Now using an ordinary dinner knife, gently cut the mixture together as shown. Keep going until it becomes a sticky mass, then stop. Don't overmix it. This also took about 3 minutes to do. You can use a machine with a dough hook, but once again don't overmix or your dumplings will turn out on the heavy side. Once it's all come together, cover with a dry towel and that'll happily sit at room temperature for 2 to 3 hours, so you can make this well in advance. Okay, I'll start to cut the vegetables, beginning with the leek. Make sure you wash all of this sandy soil from between the leaves of the leek. I like to chop them up first, get them into a strainer and give them a thorough rinse under the tap. Try to keep everything around the same size, at least 12mm or ½ an inch. If you're using turnip or swede, you only need about a ½ one, and cut it as shown for the easiest way to peel it. Then it's a simple matter of dicing it up. Right, I'll just let you watch a while I peel and dice up the other vegetables. And a recap of the vegetables I'm using is leek, turnip, onion, carrot, parsnip and potatoes. But you can pick and mix any root vegetables that you like really. Okay, get them into a bowl and give them a good mix. Cover the bowl for now. This is another job you can do well in advance. And this is another great use for a shower cap. It saves wasting on plastic wrap. It's not just handy for proofing dough. These are on sale in the website shop too. It all goes towards keeping the channel going. Now onto the chicken. I'm using this pack of 3 chicken breasts, but skinless and boneless chicken thighs will do just as well. A lot of my customers have always said that thigh meat is always tastier than the breast meat. Now I'll dice these into approximately 1 inch or 2.5 centimetre chunks and get them into a separate bowl. Right, that's everything prepped, and that didn't take very long at all. And now I can start to put this wonderful dish together. And don't forget, after preparing raw chicken, make sure everything's washed and sanitised before you do anything else. And if you do that, it'll reduce the chances considerably of any cross-contamination. Okay, now it's over to the stove. On a medium heat, I'll add 2 teaspoons of vegetable oil and 40 grams, that's 1.5 ounces of butter, and just let it melt. To stir these ingredients, it's easier to use a rigid wooden spatula. You can get these in the website shop too. They're very cheap, and to show you that you're getting your money's worth, I've been regularly using this one for the last 30 years, most of that in a work kitchen. And the first thing to fry off is the chicken. This is mainly to separate the pieces so they don't all clump together. And once the chicken's all separated and just about turned white, I'll add the vegetables and give it all a good mix. It really doesn't get much easier than this. I'm using quite a large pan for this. It makes it easier to stir everything without it flying out of the pot. And I'll just mention that this recipe would serve 8 adults. So if you want to scale yours down a bit, that's okay. And in goes the ½ teaspoon of salt. There's a few ways you can make the stock for this dish. Of course, you can make your own if you've roasted a chicken lately. Or you can buy ready-made stock like this, which is very good but can be a bit expensive. Or you can use 3 or 4 of these stock cubes added to the water in the recipe. I'll be using these stock cubes in my chicken broth and dumpling recipe in a future video. But what I'm going to use in this recipe is these chicken gravy granules. They're nice and easy to use, very tasty, and they thicken the casserole just right. Now this couldn't be easier. I'll add the water to the pot, bring it to a simmer, and simply mix in the granules. Once it's thoroughly all mixed in, turn the heat down low, put on the lid and set your timer for 15 minutes. And ignore the 7 seconds that somehow appeared on the timer. And while that's cooking, I hope you don't mind if I give my very first recipe book a bit of a plug. The book has lots of our favourite recipes from our work kitchens in it, and is available in the channel's website shop, along with loads of other equipment I use in the videos. It's just another way you can support the channel. I'll leave a link in the description box below the video, or just click on the eye icon top right of your screen if you want to order a copy today. Right, that's the 15 minutes up, but before going any further, preheat your oven to 180 degrees Celsius, that's 355 Fahrenheit, or gas mark 4. Okay, now I need to carefully transfer the casserole to the baking tin, and the tin dimensions are on screen. And make sure that you scrape it all out of the pan. Now even it out with your spatula. Right, time to add the dumpling mix. Now with a dessert spoon, portion out the dumpling mix as shown. Dip your spoon in the gravy first, this prevents the mix from sticking to it. Don't make these too big as they will double in size in the oven. Out of this mix you should get about 12 decent sized dumplings. Right, now carefully get the tin into the preheated oven, and a recap of the temperature is 180 Celsius, 355 Fahrenheit or gas mark 4. And now set your timer for 30 minutes. And that's it, it's done and ready to serve straight from the oven. I like to serve this with some steamed broccoli, and the broccoli was steaming for only 10 minutes, so get your timing right so it all finishes cooking at the same time. Now I'll spoon out one of the dumplings and casserole into the bowl and have a taste. And doesn't that look absolutely delicious? As you can hear and see, the outside is golden brown and crispy, and the inside is wonderfully light and soft. The chicken's tender and the vegetables are perfectly cooked, and the whole thing smells heavenly, just the job for a cold winter's night. And the kids like this dish too. And it tastes absolutely gorgeous and has always had a big thumbs up from our customers, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it too. And once again, please consider supporting my Patreon appeal for as little as $2 per month, or if you prefer you can make a one-off small donation using my PayPal page. It really does go a long way towards ingredients and production costs, as every penny pledged goes back into my videos. And whether you've donated or not, thanks again for your wonderful support in watching the channel. Well, thank you again for watching. Please like, share, comment and subscribe by hitting the circle above. If you do subscribe, activate the bell icon next to the subscribe button on my channel page. And by doing that, you'll be automatically notified every time I upload a new video. And in the meantime, here's a few of my other videos and playlists that you may want to watch. So, until the next time, be safe in the kitchen and bye for now.